Hello, I'm Jerry Fort. I'm gonna do a coffee review this morning. This is Harry and David coffee, maple brown sugar flavor. It says natural and artificial flavor. This is an interesting one here. You smell the maple. You smell some of the brown sugar, maybe a little bit, but also get kind of a like a cinnamon kind of aroma. It almost, in a strange way, kind of struck my mind as kind of a almost bourbon aroma or something like that. When I cut open this is what I do, I cut open the K-Cups because I don't have a K-Cup machine, but I'm excited to say that mine is supposed to arrive today. So seems how I'm doing so many K-Cups, I decided to invest in a K-Cup machine. So yeah, it's supposed to get here today. So this might be my last one cutting them open like this. So what I do is I cut open the back, I cut open the filter, and put it off into a regular drip coffee maker filter. But when I did that, I shake it all off, into the filter, and I was rattling around. There was something rattling around in there. I was like, what is that? So I cut it open just a little bit further and shook it off inside there, and it was a clump of coffee. And I was like, upon the dropping, the impact of it hitting, you would think it would have just busted apart, but it didn't. It survived it. I had to literally take my fingers in there and crush it, and it had just a little bit of firmability to it. I don't know the word. It was kind of firm at first, and then it busted apart, and I was like, and the coffee was like a little bit darker. So I kind of grabbed a little pinch of that and smelled it, and it was like a little sweeter than the rest of the coffee and the aroma. So I was thinking maybe this is possibly like a flavor profile that they put inside there to make up some of the flavors that they're putting here. Maybe getting my hopes up. I don't know that I'm actually going to taste, because it's one of those things that on not just coffee but other types of products they put sometimes some beers are like that too. They'll put a flavor. They'll what's the word I'm trying to say? Advertise, I guess, a flavor that it's supposed to be in there, and then when you go to taste it, you're like, I don't taste that in there. But coffees, they don't add, to my knowledge, any kind of sugars or sweeteners to it to make up what they're putting on here, because most of them, right, are sweet, like, well, maple, brown sugar, donuts, just stuff like that. So I'm just kind of curious about how this is gonna be. But a lot of times when I do my my coffee reviews, I add my creamers. My last one I add is usually the caramel latte, this one here, and a lot of times it's almost like what I say, magic happens. The sweet part makes sometimes what they're saying on here come alive. It almost like, now I can taste the maple, you know what I mean? But even though it's caramel's kind of close to maple, just a little bit, so that's not really out of the ordinary. But but anyway, like I said, I'm curious about how this one's supposed to turn out. I add about somewhere right here in water to make up, if you're using it. The K-Cups are kind of, the coffee inside there is measured off to be enough to to give you an enjoyable cup of coffee with the water that is put in, you know. So, so I put about that much, kind of estimate about how much it's going to be. So here we go. It's a medium, about a medium roast probably. It doesn't say the roast level on here. Now it says natural and artificial flavor, so I didn't even conceive that, but the natural part, of course, would be the coffee. Artificial, that would be some kind of insertion of a profile, of a flavor profile. Wouldn't you assume that? Okay, so let's see. So I am getting, excuse my nose itching, something's bugging it. I am getting a little bit of a maple brown sugar kind of aroma. Almost kind of donut-y. Okay. And then there's a, you know, then there's the coffee aroma. But I tell you, that flavor, that maple brown sugar thing, is kind of dominating a little bit over the coffee. Close to balanced, but it's kind of over the top just a little bit. Smells good. All right, let's try it. Okay. It's got about a medium roast. It's a smooth coffee. Has a light. Tell you what I did. I made up, because I've been reviewing coffees for, I mean, a couple, 2 or 3 years, maybe something like that, off and on. But I'm not, and I always say this word, I'm not a connoisseur. Is that how you pronounce it? I'm not a connoisseur. I'm not a professional coffee reviewer, in other words, so I don't know all of the aromas, the aroma and flavor profiles to describe to people that are familiar with coffees, to help them understand what I'm tasting. So, so what I did, I got on the internet and I went into coffee flavors you would get, or aromas, and I wrote them all down to kind of help me, because sometimes I get a taste of something and I can't put my finger on what I'm getting. So I wrote down a paper, I'm going to call it a cheat sheet, to kind of go by. I can kind of look on there and it'll strike my mind. I'll be like, oh yeah, that's what I'm getting. That's the description I'm trying to get. So that's why I'm looking up here to kind of see if anything kind of relates to what I'm getting. Yeah, see, it says up there one of the flavor profiles would be burnt, which I call it kind of a roasty, you know, bitterness type of a description is what I usually use, but I can see that burnt would be a good description. And burnt is not a bad thing. It just means that it's the roast level is what I would say. So this is a pretty good coffee, man. I want to say, like, it's got, you know, a light to medium bitterness on the back end, maybe more light. So it'd be like a, no, I really wouldn't even call this burnt. There's not, burnt wouldn't be a description. Maybe light nuttiness. um, maybe caramelized would be something you would say. But it's not, caramelized almost sounds like it would be kind of sweet in a way, but there's no sweetness in this. So there's the answer that I was looking for. And I don't know why I always assumed that they were going to put any kind of sweetener in coffee grounds, going to add anything like that, because probably in the coffee world that would be kind of considered a contamination to the coffee. You know, it makes it not so authentic, because people that are coffee fans want an authentic coffee, that they will add what they want to get what they want out of their coffee, but they don't want a sweetener of any kind in the coffee. So would I think it'd be kind of interesting if they could somehow insert a natural type of a flavoring to a coffee, but yet that might upset the coffee world, you know, because people are not expecting that. So what I do is I put a regular creamer in first. I just like a level teaspoon, which usually what it does is adds a little bit of a lactose, kind of a milky kind of taste to your coffee. And that's what it did. You still taste the Harry and David coffee in there. Adds a little bit of a lactose kind of taste to it. So now what I do is, and this is okay, it's all right. It's not how I drink my coffee, but if I'm looking to curve the bitterness, if there is any, which this was very, very low on that, then I would add, you know, just this, and that would do the job. So here's where the magic happens, if it's going to happen. So I put just a little under a level teaspoon of this in there. Starting to cool down a little bit already to where the creamer doesn't want to melt all the way. Okay, so what I'm looking for is maple brown sugar flavor now. And I'm looking to taste the Harry and David coffee. So let's see. You taste the Harry and David coffee. You get a light maple. Don't really get a brown sugar profile anymore, to me. But I can actually say that it's like somebody gave me this and said, tell me what you taste. I would say kind of a, probably like a, I would be wondering if they added like some vanilla or something to it. I wouldn't get brown sugar out of it. But this is good. It's good, and somebody liking, you know, enjoying different coffees would probably enjoy this, and may get, even without adding sweetener to it, maybe you would get the maple brown sugar, but I wouldn't get it out of there myself. I wouldn't know it was a maple brown sugar coffee. You know, it just like it's weird to me that maple brown sugar. If you're not going to taste maple and brown sugar without adding anything to it, how can you call it that? It's what stumps my mind. I don't know. I'm just I may be complex. So anyway, so there you go. Harry and David coffee, maple brown sugar, natural and artificial flavor is what it says. I would like to see the, you know, the actual, like a bag of this and see what it says. What's the ingredients, you know? So there you go. I thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. Let me know if you've tried that and what you thought of it. If you got maple and brown sugar flavor out of it. But it's a good coffee. I mean, you know, you can't lie about that. You know, I don't lie anyway. So anyway, that's what I got out of it. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. We'll see you on the next one. Well, this was a long video. Wow.